I think we're gonna get started. I think we're missing 2 dogs, but not too bad to odds. You guys are here. So last week we worked on attention and we worked on leave it and take it. I did post your guys' videos on my Facebook page. I'm not sure if you guys saw those, or if you did not see those, you're welcome to email me and I can send you an email. So give me a report card. How did we do? Bad or good? You guys can always be honest with me and say, Jason, you suck, you should go work at Walmart. Okay, maybe not that harsh a words, but no, seriously. Good? Yeah. Okay. All right, do we need to go over it any? Are you guys good? If you didn't skip last week? Okay, so let's see, we also worked on leave it and take it. Same thing, are we good? You guys understand it? Man, you guys. Okay, so then we're gonna move on then. All right, so tonight we're gonna cover jumping up on people and staying. Well, she taught the dog how to do that though. You know, I've had people like sign up for class just to work on one thing. They're like, oh, I don't need anything else, just that. So, okay, so let's talk about jumping. Let's just dive into it. So even though staying is on the list first, we're gonna first talk about jumping up. So can anybody tell me why dogs jump up? Attention, okay. Anything else?
Excited.
Okay, raise your hand if you have a jumping up problem besides the obvious. Only one person, 2 people, okay. Wow, you guys, okay. So what if I told you you guys taught your dogs to do this? Would you believe me?
Yeah.
You guys taught them. How did you teach them? Okay, that could be one thing. Hold on one second. How you doing? Reacting to it? Okay, that could be one thing. So usually it happens when the dogs are like 8 weeks old. What do? We walk into the house, had a rough day at work, the dog runs up and they jump on us. And what do we do at 8 weeks? We coddle the dog, right? We reach down and pick up the dog. All it takes is once, and we just taught the dog a behavior. Some behaviors you only have to do once with the dog and it's solidified. Ask yourself this: if you bought a lottery ticket, you've never bought a lottery ticket, and you bought a lottery ticket today and you scratched it and you won $10,000, would you stop playing the lottery altogether, or would you possibly go do it again? Okay, you'd go do it again. People have a drug problem, a little off topic here, but people have a drug problem, a cocaine problem, okay? Their first hit is just this organic, like just this ultimate pleasure, okay? They never get that again. However, the fact that that was so intense to them, they keep going back and pretty soon becomes a problem. So what happens is the same thing with your dog. Your dog comes home, jumps on you, you reach down, you pick it up, you coddle it, and now the dog says, man, I want more of that, I want to do it again. This must be how I get that ultimate petting, is I jump up on you. So then, usually what happens is people then call me when the dog is 8 months of age or older, and they say, why is the dog jumping on grandma? And I tell them, well, why did you teach the dog? And they kind of think I'm nuts. So, if we taught the dog that easy to jump on us, it's really that easy to teach the dog not to jump on us, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a game with a couple of the dogs. We're not gonna be able to get to everybody's dog, but we're gonna play a little game with the dog. So I use my friend Christina here. Hey, come here, puppy. Okay, stop. Stay right there for a minute. Okay, so I'm Christina's dog. She's had a rough day at work. Opens the door, I run, and I go, and I jump on her, right? Okay. So by the time the dog jumps on her, it's already too late. We've already missed our opportunity. So what we're gonna do in a minute is we are going to play, we're gonna have, play a little game here. Christina's gonna hold the dog in a minute. She's gonna hold the dog. What you're gonna do is you're gonna come up. Now Christina's gonna be the owner of the dog. I'm gonna be the dog. You're gonna act like I'm being held back, okay? Christina's gonna walk up, and when she gets to this point where I can jump up, she's gonna kneel down and she's gonna feed the dog. Not on the ground, she's gonna do a little too low. Kneel down to feed the dog, you can stand up and turn around and walk away. Okay, and she's gonna do that again. And she's gonna kneel and feed. Good. You are gonna do this 10 or 15 times in a row. Just repetitive, just over and over again. 10 or 15 times in a row. Good. So let's say she just did that 15 times. The 16th time, what she's gonna do is she's gonna walk up to me and stand right in front of me. Close enough where I can jump up. Now, two things are gonna happen. One, your dog may not jump up. If it doesn't jump up within about 3 or 4 second count, you're gonna throw the dog a party. If it does jump up, you just completely ignore the dog and walk away from the dog. Okay? So then, if your dog does jump up, she's gonna now give me another opportunity. She's not gonna feed, she's gonna walk up. Now, if I jump up on her again, what is she gonna do? You got it, turn around, walk away. Okay, then she's gonna come up to me again. And this time I'm not gonna jump up on her. And the moment I don't jump up on her, she's gonna pay me for it. Okay? So here's the thought process. Scoot the crate forward just a little bit.
Do what?
Scoot the crate forward just a little bit. There you go. Here's the thought process behind this. Okay? The thought process is this. 15 times we walked up to the dog, we kneeled down and we fed. The 16th time we walked up, the dog jumped, no feeding. Dog thought that's kind of weird. The 17th time we came up to the dog jumped up, still no feeding. 18th time we came up to the dog and the dog started thinking, wait a minute, if 15 times when they approached me I did not jump up and I got fed, the 16th time and the 17th time I jumped up and I did not get fed, what are we doing here? We're teaching the dog simple mathematics, right? That's really what it is. We're teaching the dog mathematics. So a lot of people say, well, Jason, why can I just tell my dog to sit? Or why can't I just tell my dog to down? Well, ask yourself, is this a sitting and downing problem or is this a jumping up problem? I want your dogs to use their own brains. I want your dogs to reason and think for themselves, not us have to tell the dog to sit or down or anything like that. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, somebody want to be a volunteer? Go first. Thank you, you're so kind. She was like, please call on me. Okay, can Street hold your dog for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so what she's going to do is she's going to start back here. But the one thing Christina did not do is she did not talk to the dog. So here's the reason. I'm going to have this young lady like walk up and just kind of what like some kid coming over the house would be. The fact of life is everybody that walks into your house is not going to be just stone cold, not going to say anything, right? So you're just going to walk up to them, you can talk to them a little bit, and then kneel down and feed. And kneel, feed. And walk away. There you go. Okay, let's do that again. You're going to do that 10 times.
Okay.
Again.
Wait, she jumped and I didn't.
So that's a good point. So if the dog jumps, no feed. So
I had a delayed reaction.
it's okay. Good. So hold on. You're a little bit too slow. Let's walk away again. So the moment you walk up, no matter what happens, just feed her. Okay. Walk up and kneel and feed, just like that. Okay. Again. So you got a little bit too close that time. Okay, let's try it again. Good, just like that. Let's do it again. Again. There we go. Now we're getting some consistency. Good. 3 more times. So there's no magic number when you guys do this. I usually say 10 or 15 times. Sometimes the dog gets it like within seconds. Okay, now wait. So I still would have fed, but yeah, because the dog didn't get all the way up on you.
Okay.
Walk up again and kneel and feed. Good. So do you notice the dog got jumpy that time and then the other times? Because this time you actually talk to the dog.
She's always jumping.
It's okay. Keep trying again. And kneel and feed. Good. Okay, two more times, and then we're going to test it. Good. One more time. Still have a good amount of food. Okay. Good. Okay. Now walk away. Now this time just walk right up to her and stand in front of her, okay? Don't say anything. Don't kneel down. Just stand in front of her. Okay. Did she jump on her?
No, not. She jumped up and.
Ah, we missed it. Okay, walk away again. We'll get a. Okay, so if the dog doesn't jump up on you within like 2 seconds, throw her a party. Okay, walk up to her again. Okay.
Count as jumping on
Yeah, it does. Walk away again.
She sits first and then jumps.
Okay, stand in front of her. And feed her. Good job. Good. Okay, now we're gonna go with kneeling down 3 more times. Good. Try to feed her one hot dog at a time. She's gonna fill up very quickly. Good. Okay, now come up and we're gonna just walk right up to her and we're gonna test her. Walk up to her, stand there, wait.
Oh, quick. I didn't see to capture it, right?
Yes, but the dog was still pulling on the leash. I was waiting for the leash to be slack. Oh, good, feed her again, good job. Okay, walk away, Mom. Good. Do me a favor, put your hands behind your back this time. Walk right up to her. Don't kneel down, just walk right up to her, keep walking, and stop. Now feed her. Good job.
I don't like the cheese.
Good. Okay, go and take your dog. Good job.
Good job.
So, one thing I'm going to comment, I'm going to pick on her for a minute because I like her. She's saying yes. If you're going to use yes as a marker word, we don't want to, it's not a, how can you explain? It's not something we want to just use lightly. It's to mark a particular behavior. So, if I come up, or my dog comes up and doesn't jump up within a couple seconds, yes, and then I feed. Okay, who else has a jumping issue that we can do a quick test on? Do you want to try it? Let's do it. Here, let's move you down just a little bit, please. Watch your dog. Okay, who's going to be the victim?
Okay.
Who does the dog jump up on more?
Probably me, yeah.
Okay, then your husband's gonna hold.
I'll walk.
Yep. Do me a favor. Put him on the other collar.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. We get excited. Yes.
I think I'm doing enough.
Okay.
Okay. So let's first do a test. Dad, this may not work. Hold on. Nope. It's okay.
He's starting to have possessive issues of me.
Okay, let's put him back on the prong collar. Okay.
Back on the small circle?
Ah, there it is. Start it. There's a good one.
Actually, so we're not going to be... Here's the thing. If we do this, he's going to get really excited and start barking at the other dogs.
Yeah, no worries.
And she's worked really hard on that, so... Okay, you want to try it with your dog?
Okay.
Well, you don't have to. I'm not going to... Do you want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay. I tell you what. How about we do this? Christina, do you want to be the victim for this young lady?
The victim?
Yep. Can you give her your food? Do you mind if she does this? Okay.
Jump up on the person?
Jumpy. Yep. All right. She's going to jump all over. Nice. That's what we want. This is how I get repeat business. Do what again? Yep, so wait, walk away from it, put your hands behind your back. Walk up to him, let's see if he jumps on you. Okay, I'm gonna block a little bit. There we go. Hi, honey. Okay, let's try it again.
What's his puppy's name again? Should I be talking?
What's your puppy's name?
Apollo.
Yep, yeah, talk to him.
Hey, Apollo.
Oh, good job. Okay, walk away. There you go. Okay, don't give him any more leash than that, okay? Walk up, talk to him, and kneel and feed. Good. So not so low where he offers it down. I don't want to confuse the behavior. Good.
Apollo is a good puppy. He's a good puppy. Who's that little shepherd dog? Who's that shepherd dog? Apollo.
Okay, let's do it 3 more times, and then we'll test it.
The puppy. Who's the puppy?
It's like, I like this lady. Nope, let's do it again. I was saying the puppy really likes you now. One more time.
Apollo.
Good, okay, walk away. Now we're going to test it. Yep, hands behind your back, walk right out to him. Oh, feed him. But what variable did you change? Walk away again. You didn't talk.
This guy's got puppy teeth.
Okay, so let's test it again. Put your hands behind your back. Talk to him while you walk up.
Hello, little German Shepherd. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Nice, feed him for that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good. Good.
Okay, but I want him to fail this time. So this time, skip a little bit. Dance, I don't know. Do something a little different.
Let him get that piece of cheese because he's not gonna. Apollo! Yeah! What's a good dog? What's a good dog? Come on! Come on! Jump on me! Yeah!
Bloody hell, that's good. Okay, now, walk up again, same thing.
Feed or not?
No feed, nope.
No?
Oh, feed him for that. Good job. Hey, you did wonderful. Want to try this?
Yeah.
All right. How about we have her hold your dog, and we'll have you be the victim.
Okay.
Is that okay, or do you want to reverse it? Do you want to do this with a stranger, or do you want to...
I'll be the victim.
You'll be the victim. Yep, she'll hold your dog.
I'm only a victim half of the time. It's kind of random and variable.
Really?
He's like, hang out with him half the day, and then he turns around and he's like, oh, Dad! And jumps off. Come home from work, and he's like, oh, hey, what's your puppy?
Maybe you smell like donuts.
This is going to be really easy. His name is Apollo.
Oh, well, Apollo.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad, come this way. Come this way.
Yeah.
Okay, right there. Okay, put your hands behind your back, walk out to him. Let's see if he'll even jump on you. Okay, that was kind of nonchalant. Let's walk up with a little enthusiasm.
Apparently she tastes better.
Yeah.
Good.
Smells like cheese in her mouth. Yeah. And I have.
Nope. Yeah, sadly enough, the dog does have to jump up in order for us to work on. Let's try it again. This time, clap while you walk up to him.
There you go.
Sing a little song if you want to.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Hi.
Wow, see, I'm that good. You just come to class and voila. Thank you, osmosis. Ain't gonna happen today, buddy. Good job.
Okay, well, we tried.
Good try it.
Actually, lesson learned.
Yeah.
Yay, good job.
Okay, so do we kind of understand this concept? Basically, we're conditioning or unconditioning something that you guys conditioned. So we're teaching the dog that there's more power in not jumping up. We're allowing the dog to fail. Just like in life, sometimes failures help us more than successes. So in this case, with your dog, it's the same thing. Your dog learns that there's more power in not jumping up than there is jumping up, okay? So let's say you're by yourself like I am. You have nobody to help hold the dog. You can tie the dog to like a doorpost or a bedpost, or you can tie the dog to back to anything. And you can do the same concept. Having somebody hold your dog is not the key necessarily. It's just basically the dog being back tied. So the other thing you guys can do is every time you walk into your house, have food outside your front door, drop food in front of your door, in front of the door. Every time you walk in the door, drop a handful of food. Okay, basically what you're doing is you're giving the dog's brain something to do the moment you come home. Because let's be honest, the moment we walk in the door, that's usually when the dogs are most exuberant, right? Funny thing about animal psychology, you can leave for 5 minutes or for 5 hours, and the dog will have the same reaction. It's crazy. So if you put some dry food outside your front door, you walk in your door, every time you walk in, drop a handful of food, pretty soon, when you walk in the door, what's the dog gonna be doing?
Looking on the ground.
You got it. It's gonna be looking at the ground saying, hey, there's more value down there than up there. Okay? Yes?
The same thing work with 5 dogs.
With 5 dogs. So yes and no. So with 5 dogs, you got to be careful if the dogs are going to be fight over the food. That would be an issue.
No, that's not yours.
That would not really. Okay. Then yes, the concept works the same. You might have to drop a little bit more food than 2 or 3 pieces. I heard another trainer say that I didn't come up with this. That he says if every time you walk into your house, if you walk to the front window and you describe everything outside you see in the front window for 10 minutes, after a month your dog will start jumping up on you. And the reason being is, if every time you walked in to your house and you ignored your spouse for 10 minutes, after a week, what would your spouse be thinking? Crap, there's something wrong, right? Okay, the dog is the same thing. If every time you walk in, you ignore the dog, pretty soon the dog's like, oh, you're home. It's not that big a deal. Okay? A couple ideas for you. Okay, any other questions before we move on?
Well, he jumps up not just because he's excited to see us, but because he thinks we have something good in our hands. Like, so like he's trying to get our food. So I don't want to throw it on the ground.
That's a good point. So, if she has a plate of food, is this a jumping up problem or is this the dog wanting to steal something problem?
Is it a leave it problem?
It's a leave it problem. So therefore, that's where leave it comes in handy. Okay? Good question though. Okay, let's move on. So I'm going to really confuse you now. I'm going to really confuse you now. So we're going to talk about stay. We're going to work on stay. So I personally don't use the word stay. To me, stay is a redundant command. Okay, meaning the dog doesn't necessarily need the word stay. If I tell my dog to sit or down, I expect my dog to stay in a sit and down until I release him. This is why we have a terminal marker. Does that make sense? Well, I'll say that one more time. So if I tell my dog to sit and down, I expect my dog to stay in that behavior until I release them, either with a terminal marker or I give them a secondary behavior or ask for another behavior marker. Okay? If you guys want to use the word stay, you're more than welcome to. However, imagine having 20 different commands for your kids for one task. If you had 20 different commands to do the dishes, imagine how confusing that would be to the kids. Your kids would be like, wait a minute, did mom say to wash the dishes or did they not wash the dishes? Okay? So dog training is kind of the same way. If we have 30, 50 different commands, we really have to go over and always trying to reinforce every behavior. So the less verbiage we can have with our dogs and the simplistic we can make it, the easier it is for the dog to understand it. Does that make sense? So one less verbiage that we can get out of the dog, in my opinion, out of the dog's vocabulary, it's a little easier for the dog. Okay? If you guys want to use the word stay, you're more than welcome to. But the dog itself does not need it. All right. So can you go grab a Jolie, please? So stay starts with either a sit or down, depending on which one your dog is stronger at. We're going to start with sit, just so we can teach this as a group. But if your dog after tonight has a better down, then you can do this in a down. I would rather you pick the behavior or the marker that is stronger to the dog. So tonight, for just argument's sake, we're just going to work on the sit. Okay? So Christina's got her dog in a sit, standing in front of the dog. Okay? She asks the dog to sit. She's going to feed the dog for sitting. She's going to take one step back and one step forward, and she's going to feed. Here's what most of you guys are going to do. I'm going to tell you to take one step, but this is what your brain is going to tell you to do. Take one step. For some reason, our brains tell us that this is one step. But to me, one step is one leg back and one leg forward. Here's the reason why. Look at the distance between Christina and the dog now. Okay? Now look at the distance when she takes 2 steps. It doubles the distance. This is going to be too much for your dog. Okay? So, walk back to the dog, please.
Put the dog away.
Stay there. So, Christina's gonna walk back with one foot, walk forward, and she's gonna feed. That's all we're gonna do. 1 foot back, 1 foot forward, and feed. So after doing this maybe 1 or 2 or 3 times, depending on how old your dog is, you need to release your dog. If your dog sits here for too long, it's gonna get bored. Especially certain little puppies or certain puppies in the class here, they don't sit very long, okay? Your dog is not gonna sit for a very long period of time. So if you can get 1 step out of tonight, then be very happy with that. If your dog is a little older and you've worked on this a little bit, then you can try 2 steps. But make sure you always return to the dog and you always feed. And you always feed for the initial sit. Okay? And then she and then she steps forward, just like that. Does that make sense? Or I confused you guys? Okay, here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and stand up. Try to get at least 1 step a couple times. If you feel confident, then maybe try 2 steps. But try not to overdo it with your dog. In other words, don't try to do 10 steps when you're not ready. Okay, 2 things may help you. Go and put your treat bag on your backside or put it down for a minute, kind of dangling. Okay, take out a good handful of food.
We're getting down to cheese, dog.
Uh-oh. Okay, ask him to sit. Okay, feet over the sit. Stand all the way up. Okay, now 1 slow step. Oh, try again. Sit. Good. So here's the thing. You're gonna have to just work on him just sitting for 30 seconds before you can really work on the step. So with food in your hand, ask him to sit. Take your hand away and then bring it right back and feed him again. Okay, wait, ask him to sit. Feed. Okay, don't even take your hand. Don't hide your hand. Feed. Take your hand away. Feed. Just like that. Oh, try it again. Take your hand away. Feed. Nope. So try this. Instead of taking your hand back away, bring it straight up away from him. Straight up. And feed. Take your hand away. And feed. Oh, and free him. Good job. So that's where you're going to have to start.
When you say free, does that mean you just are like, go for it?
Yeah, you're done.
You say the word free, or you
Yep.
you literally say the word
You always say the word free, yep. So if you have to put meaning to the word free. So you say free, maybe like lead him around a little bit with the food, just to know he can get up out of the sit. Or you can kind of step back and say free. But it lets the dog know that I can get out of that sit. Yep. How's it going?
Actually, yeah, we've done some training with Willie. Sit. Good job. Stay. Ah, we had
So you're trying to show off.
Yes.
Watch your dog, watch your dog, watch your dog.
Good boy, sit. No, you care about me. What? Sit. 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 Free.
Good. So here's the thing. At this point, don't free the dog from a distance. Always return to the dog
Before you do the free.
Before you do the free.
Because make it solid.
Yes. So if I'm your dog and I think when you get back here, oh, you're gonna release me, I'm going to think exactly. You got it.
Willie, I know you like him. Come on, Willie.
They all like me as long as they don't pee on me.
Yeah.
Oh, almost. Good job. How's it going? Uh-oh, what's he doing?
He's jumping up on me.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, he's already sit.
Good. Step forward. Forward, and feed. Yes, good job. So you left your leg back there too long. Back forward right away.
And then, if he's still sitting there, do you reset and say sit again? Or
You say sit again. Yep.
Even though he's already sitting?
Even though he's already sitting. Too much time has gone by. It's a puppy. It's going to forget that you said sit.
Okay.
Okay, let's try it again.
Sit.
Step. There you go. Step forward. Oh, okay, try it again. Step back again. Sit.
Nice on the sit.
Yep, sit. Step back. Step forward. Okay, so try little half steps then. You probably use steps are a little bit too big. Okay? Good. How's it going?
He's doing better.
All right, good job.
He usually pops up when he's starting to sit down.
Good job. How's it going over here? Nicely done. Oh, good try. It's because I was watching.
She's fine if she's just focused on me, but the minute anything else happens around, she's, oh, what's going on over there?
I know that feeling.
Yeah. Squirrel!
Squirrel! Beer! Nicely done. Good job.
Hey, Jason, we got a demo.
For the what game? Oh, yeah? Stay.
Almost. We haven't got all the way around, but it gets to 9.
Way to go. We'll put you to work. Yes.
And feed him, and then you say sit and take a step back.
Yeah, so you feed him for the initial sit, and then you take your step back, and then you step forward, and you pay him for the staying. So you're working on almost two things at the same time. You're working on staying stationary in the sit, but you're also working on the sit. Does that make sense? At this age, he needs to be paid for everything he does. So if we ask him to sit, he needs to be paid for sitting.
So, but you didn't tell him twice, right? For the initial sit, and then you say sit as you walk away? Or
No, you can say sit, feed, and then step, and then step forward. If you think he's going to break after the feeding, then yeah, you can tell him again, but don't get in the habit of it.
He is jumping for the food after he sits. When he sits back, but as he comes forward with the food, he's...
Then you need to probably pay him a little sooner. Here, go and show me, please.
Sit.
Step forward. Good.
Yeah, he likes his hot dogs too much.
I know that feeling. Good job. How's he doing? Pretty good on this?
Yeah.
Is he pretty good on this?
Yeah. Seems to be, it's more me than him, but...
Isn't that how it always is?
Maybe I'll take for a day or you work on one step and then we're doing it. Fighting.
He was doing good there for a while when he got off the street. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go and sit back down. We're going to talk a little bit and then move on. So as you see, this takes a lot of work. Probably stay is the one thing that I personally dread with my own dogs, and I think most people I work with dread with their own dogs. It takes a lot of patience. It takes some timing. It also takes a little bit of thinking outside the box. So let's say you're working on this with your dog and your phone rings and you get a phone call. And you answer the phone and the dog gets up and wanders away.
Yeah.
What did the dog just learn? Yep, the dog learned we get up when it wants, especially if you get on the phone. So my own personal dog, I was working on this. I have two dogs. I have one that's retired and I have a new competition dog. And so my old retired dog, it's funny. I work from home. This is not my full-time living. I had two other jobs. And I was working with them in my living room, and I noticed the moment my phone would get up, or my phone would ring, the dog would get up and just kind of wander away. I mean, the dog learned really quickly, hey, when the phone rings, Dad disengages, and hey, when Dad disengages, so can I. So, do you know how I counter condition that? I would call myself, and I'd reaffirm when the phone rang not to break the state. So, I thought outside the box. So sometimes we kind of have to think outside the box. Okay, so let's talk about the down. So at this point, we've worked on sitting and staying. Okay, now we need to get the dog to stay in a down. Okay, so one of the difficulties we see in the down is one, you have to have a down before you can really do this. If your dog doesn't sit and down, I know you've only been working on this for 2 weeks, you really can't work on leaving your dog alone and walking away if your dog does not have a good down, okay? So I'm gonna ask the young lady with the shepherd if I can use you. Can I use you? Okay. Just because I know she hasn't played solid down, and I want to give you guys a quick demo of what to do with your dogs. Okay, so she's going to pull out a handful of food. So do me a favor. I want you to lure him into a down. Even though he does no down, just lure him into a down. Okay. Keep your hand really low for a minute. Get lower if you can. Okay. So she lured the dog in a down. Now she needs to stand up. So let's say this is your dog. Most of your dogs, the moment you stood up, would just pop right up, just like that, okay? What she's gonna do is she's gonna keep her hand low. Okay, really low, please. Okay, lower, lower. She's gonna drop a piece of food between the dog's front feet. She's gonna stand up, and then she's gonna kneel back down right away again. And she's gonna feed again. Okay? So, the moment she goes in her pocket, if this was your dog, you'd need to release the dog. Because usually go in the pocket as a cue to the dog that, hey, there's a reward coming. This young lady here has a big treat bag. So I was noticing earlier when she was working with her dog, it's kind of dangling down, and the dog was kind of fixated on the treat bag. So by having her put the treat bag on her backside a little bit, kind of got rid of that anxiety, like, oh, there's a treat bag. So when you guys are working on this, put your treat bag on your backside, or you even put the bag of food down somewhere so this dog is not getting fixated on it, okay? So once you get where you can stand up, kneel down, stand up, kneel down, the dog stays in a down. At that point, you're ready to work on your step back and forward, just like you do in the sit. It's no different. It's step back, step forward. The only difference in the sit and down is the sit, you're feeding the dog directly through the nose. The down, you want to drop it between their front feet. Ask yourself this. Christine, can you stand up for a minute? If Christina has a Chihuahua and her hands are, when she's standing, are all the way up there, what is the Chihuahua going to want to do? It's going to want to jump up and come to the cash machine, right? However, if the Chihuahua learns that the only time the dog gets fed in the down is when Christina drops it between the front feet, now what happens to the dog's brain? The dog says, well, why would I ever want to get up if right between my front feet the food is going to be dropped? Does that make sense? Okay, so let's try this. I'm going to have you guys try it for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to move on. So try to just get where you can stand up, kneel down, stand up, kneel down. Your dog stays in a down. If you're really good and you want to push it, then try to take 1 or 2 steps back and come back to your dog, but don't push them if you don't have to. So next time the dog downs, just like jackpot, drop like a little handful of food right between his front feet.
They're so big.
So that time you dropped it too far forward, and you just came up. So you want to kind of almost go like underneath him a little bit. Okay, wait. He's not all. Were you here the first class?
Yeah.
We talked about reteaching the down. Did you try that?
I know.
Okay, just curious. Because that's one of the reasons why, okay, stop for a minute, please. That's one of the reasons why he doesn't want to stay.
Yeah.
Because the moment your food comes down, his butt comes up.
Right.
Because he doesn't firmly understand the muscle memory of downing correctly. So you may have to kind of reteach the down a little
I
bit.
need to do a little bit.
Okay, good, drop. His elbows are up a little bit. Good job, keep trying. Good, excellent. Good job. Okay, if it's not really strong, then lure him into a down.
He is strong. I just think his brain's fried.
Okay.
Usually he's very good at it.
Okay. But tonight he's telling you, hey mom, I'm having an off day. Sometimes we have off days as people too.
Nice work.
Good job.
Our other dog was never food motivated.
Okay, try not to call him out of the down though. Try not to call him out of it.
Yeah.
And
The point is
you're
to
not.
go back and back up to him and keep him down.
Now walk up, drop the food between his front feet. There you go. Try not to hand it to him out of your hands. Oh, watch your dog. What? Thank you. So, mom, I know he wasn't here the first 2 classes, but you got to be really proactive, okay?
Yeah,
So,
about the other dogs.
yeah. So if he has a bad incident, it could really set him back, and it could really set that dog back.
Here, let
Okay?
me try this.
So, no. So actually, here's one thing you guys can do. You can handle the leash. That way he can focus on.
That's a good idea.
That way he can focus on training,
Yeah.
Really?
or vice versa.
Until we get.
Here, can you help this young lady with the down? Can she borrow your dog? Yeah, can you help her, show her the hand position, how to keep the hand low? Do you mind if she takes your dog, do you?
Oh, please
okay,
do.
sorry. Dude, like, take my dog. Can you hand her some food, please?
Does it know it down or anything?
Just show her how you, like,
Under the leg?
no, not the leg, with your palm down, like, don't be sorry. Okay. Okay, bring your hand up, Christina. Okay, flip it over. Have it go underneath your hand. Now bring it up higher, 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 higher. Bring it up higher. Okay. Tell you what, try it however you want to try it. Show her what you're doing. Show her how to go underneath the dog. Try it if you can. How you doing back here?
She's terrible at down.
Are you sure?
Well, she does good if I do it this way.
Talk about that in a minute.
There we go. Good puppy. Good job.
Good job. So once you do that for a little bit, then you can go back to trying to, like, it goes from the nose to, like, underneath the legs, like the dog backing up into a down. So you first just have to reteach. The down means I put my body down first, my front part first, not my butt first.
Yes. Oh, she gotcha.
You like the cheese better?
I think she likes the hot dog.
Here you go. Food.
Here, after class, I'll show you how to teach her to stop biting, okay? Okay. Good job. So I think you guys did pretty good. I saw a lot. I'm quite impressed. There was quite a few dogs that you guys were able to stand up. Dogs stayed in a down. A couple things I want to kind of make note of. When you're working on teaching your dog to be stationary in a sit or down, don't call them out of it. At this stage in your training, don't tell them come. Don't release them from a distance. You want to always return to the dog and release the dog from your return position. Because let's say this is my puppy right here, and this puppy really wants to be with me. And I'm back here and the puppy says, oh man, I've done really good. What is the puppy gonna do? Yeah, it's gonna come to me like, okay, I'm expecting a reward, right? So if I always teach my puppies from the young age that I'm always gonna return to them, they're less likely to break the stationary position because they know there's no success when they break the stationary position. Does that make sense? So always return to the dog. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how our next step. So our next step is going to be able to walk around our dogs. Once you can reach the end of your leash, once you can walk all the way to the end of your leash, what good is it if you can't walk all the way around your dogs, right? So I came up with this clock game. This young man is going to help us. He's been volunteered by Christina. So this young man's going to help us. Okay, so we're going to do this in a down. What's stronger, a sit or down? What do you think?
He's pretty lazy. He's probably
Pretty lazy. Yeah. All right, he takes after me. So what he's going to do is he's going to put his dog in a down. Good job. Okay, now he's going to stand right in front of his dog. He's going to walk to the end of his leash. Okay, so we're established that he can do this. So if your dog is not to this point, you can't do the next step. What he's going to do is he's going to imagine a clock. He's going to imagine the dog is at 12 o'clock and he's at 6 o'clock. What he's going to do is he's going to step to 5 o'clock. So imagine, there you go. It's okay. I didn't look at the clock. Okay, now he's going to step back to 6 o'clock. Now he's going to return back to his dog and he's going to feed. Good. The only thing I'm going to say differently is I'd like him to drop the food between the front feet. I want the dog to think the ground is the reward, okay? So walk up, tell him down, even though he's down again, just tell him down. We're going to reset him. Down, good job. Okay, now walk back to 6 o'clock. Now he's going to walk to 7 o'clock. He's going to come back to 6 o'clock. He's going to walk up and feed. Just feed, and then walk away again. Oh, try it again, you didn't see it. There it is. Okay, now he's going to walk back to 5 o'clock. Okay, now he's going to go to 4 o'clock. Now he's going to go back to 6 o'clock. He's going to return and feed. So we never return and feed the dog until we're back to the neutral position, the 6 o'clock position. The reason being is, go to 9 o'clock please for a minute. Let's do the other way. Here we go. So let's say his dog is here, and his dog's thinking, oh man, I'm doing really good, Dad. You're gonna come feed me, and gets up, right? I want to teach the dog that there's no success unless Dad returns to 6 o'clock, and then returns the dog, and he feeds. Okay, at this point, he may release the dog, free the dog, or if the dog like him, he'd probably walk around completely around the dog, and the dog do great. But most of your dogs are not going to be this lethargic. We're not going to call it lazy, call it lethargic. Most dogs are not going to be this lethargic. So most of your dogs are probably going to only get 1 or 2 numbers before they need to release and reset. But the idea is we're building confidence with the dog that we're going to walk all the way around them and they don't need to break. Does that make sense? Good job, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys do that for about 5 minutes, and then I'll tell you the next step, okay? So if you can, put your dog in a sit or down. Try to walk to the close you can to the end of the leash. If you can't, then just try to go as far as you can and just step to 7, back to 6, feed. 5, back to 6, feed. If you can't get where you can't move at all, don't worry about it. Just work on sitting down then. Good job. Watch this. You did it way too slow. Okay? Just step back. Sit. Up. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Just step back. Stop. Good. Step that way. Okay, feed him for that. That's fine. That's fine. You're right. Step back again. Okay, stop. Nope. So you may have to just work on the step about just, stepping back and stepping forward a couple times before you can really move side to side. It's nothing you did wrong. It's just he's just not there yet. He's just telling you, hey, Mom, I'm just not ready for that next step yet. Okay, try to ask him to sit. But we're gonna play a little experiment here. Take your leash and wrap it around his head and just let go of it. Okay. He's the only dog I trust with this. Okay. Now don't sit, step back. Okay. I was just wondering if it was the leash. Sometimes if we have a dog on a prong collar a lot, they'll always follow the prong. So the moment you move back, he's like, I want to avoid any kind of correction. And so I was wondering if that was the case. Step a little slower this time. There you go. Step to the right. Step to the left. Return in and feed. Excellent. I would have jackpotted. Good job. Good. Okay, now tell him to sit again. Sit. Okay, step back. Okay, now come this way. And go back. Good. So do you feel successful? Okay, then here's where being turns into a good dog trainer, a great dog trainer. Knowing your limit. So if you feel that was good and you made progress, then you shouldn't do it again the rest of the night. Or if you feel, well, maybe I can push it a little bit, and maybe you can, but this is where you need to know, kind of where you're at. And to me, if I was having difficulty with this at all, I would have called it a night. That would have been like awesome. And then I'd work on it again tomorrow, maybe push it a little bit more. But you're not going to get everything in one night.
Right. Plus, remembering Ruby as the human always helps the dog.
Yes, understanding expectations of you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's where, I can do it. I know kind of what to do.
Yeah.
Train dogs. Train
Uh-huh.
But I haven't had anybody really work with me, and timing I know is real important.
Yep.
And that's the part that I kind of like, I'm supposed to do this, this, and this, and I keep forgetting the middle part.
Yep.
Oh, nice work. Good job.
See why she hasn't been in love. Yeah. She can't want it. Yeah. Let me talk to her a little bit about it. Yeah, because I got to help somebody else. Oh, good job. So,
Good down.
good, walk up and feed. Walk up and feed. No, walk up and feed. Good job. I love your husband. Very ambitious. But that's going to be his biggest downfall.
Right.
Good. Return the fee. Oh, good. You know what you should do? Call it a night. That was successful.
The crinkling and everything.
Yep, that was successful.
Even the treat distractions going on. That's the.
Okay. I'm going to use you again if that's okay. Okay, so a couple things that I kind of see that you're not doing wrong, and just kind of want to tweak a little bit. I was helping this young lady with the shepherd, and she was having some difficulty just even stepping back and stepping forward to her dog, right? But after working a couple times, she was able to get it, and then she was able to step right or left. You know what I told her? Call it a day. As dog trainers, sometimes we're really ambitious. This is one of my worst downfalls in life. I'm extremely ambitious, okay? I want everything tomorrow. I don't want to wait. Everything in my life I've had to really struggle and work for, and so I have this attitude, this belief system throughout my whole life. In dog training, sometimes it just doesn't match up. The dog can't keep up with my ambition. It's just an animal. It just doesn't do what I want to do at my speed. So I always have to remind myself of the same thing. Baby steps. If I take baby steps and I take it slow, I'm going to get more out of it in the end. Okay? So if you're working with your dog's doing really good, you're thinking, oh man, I just want to do it one more time. Probably not. Stop while you're ahead. I always want to come up with a shirt that says just one more time. You know, because that's really what we are. And you can ask these two young ladies here. We always struggle with it. And 9 times out of 10, if you're working on something and you do it one more time, usually the dog screws up. Now you're stuck with this problem. Well, crap, you don't want to end on a bad note, but the dog's reached its end of its threshold. You know, what do you do? So, end while you're ahead if your dog is doing really good, okay? Can I use it for a minute? So, let's say, remember, I'm jamming 4 weeks of dog training in your head. I don't expect your dogs to stay when you come next week. So I'm gonna show you the last step. Come out here, please. So he's got some food. He's gonna ask his dog to sit. So one of the difficulties we have, a little sign, I'm gonna geek out of here a little bit. If his dog is my dog and he's sitting there, when I reach a certain point, there's got to be a certain point that if the dog follows me with his head, its butt has to get up. The dog can usually only turn their head about 35, 45 degrees, okay? So when I reach this point, the dog's gonna say, hey, I gotta follow dad, my butt's gotta get him up. So when you reach this point with your dog, there's 2 things you can do. One, you can do this. He can quickly go around the dog, okay? So he comes to this point right about 9 o'clock, and then he quickly goes around the dog, quickly go behind the dog, quickly, and he comes back and he loads the dog, throws it a party. Dog did awesome, okay? Obviously the dog is gonna do it anyways. The other thing you can also do, he's gonna stand right in front of the dog, and he can actually just do a little pirouette. He can put the food right in front of the dog's nose, and he can walk around the dog, keeping the food right here. Good, and he can feed the dog. So this doesn't necessarily teach the dog to stay from a distance. This just gets the dog confident with you being able to walk around him and him not follow you with his head. Does that make sense? Okay, you did awesome, thank you. Okay, I know we covered a lot tonight. Any questions before I let you go? So we worked on jumping. Oh, that's the other thing. Let's talk about jumping a little bit more. So if people come over to your house and they are not willing to be part of the solution, they're going to be part of your problem. Say it again. Okay, if people are not part of your solution, they're going to be part of your problem. So imagine this. Imagine if you have 10 people come over to your house, and out of 10 people coming over to your house, your dog jumps on the 8 of them. Which behavior is being solidified? Jumping or not jumping? You got it. So if people come to your house and it's not a time to train your dog, you know the best thing you can do? Put the dog up. If the people are willing to help you, then you can play the little game we did on leash, or go outside, put some food outside, ask them every time they walk into your house to drop a handful of food. Okay? That way, the dog is not getting away with just jumping all over people in the moment they walk in the door. And 2, the people are helping you teach the muscle memory of what to do when people walk into your house. Okay? Just a little tidbit note on there. All right, any other questions before I let you guys go? All right. You did really good, and I will see you guys next week. Next week is last week together. So we'll do a graduation, and we'll work on walking on a leash and healing. Okay? Thank you guys so much.